weekend. I got the buggy here. Let's look what's on the inside. So Stanford Co-op mixed me up a bunch of seed and fertilized together. We're going to do a bunch of food plot planting this weekend for our fall plots. So if you look there, this is what we're planting. There's fertilizer called Mez in there, which is 12% nitrogen, 40% phosphate. And I added potash, 60% potash to it. 1,000 pounds of Mez, 1,000 pounds of potash, plus 500 pounds of seed. And if you look in there, you'll see oats and wheat. And we have all kinds of seeds. The list is unreal of stuff I mixed blended together. A lot of chicory, winter peas, Australian winter peas, 3 types of clover. So this is going to be an awesome food plot mix for us up in the hills. So it gives us a lot of variety to our plots and hopefully get us ahead of the day. Hey everybody, it's time for a little wildlife management today. If you can see right there, I'm towing a fertilizer buggy from Stanford Co-op Nutrient Solutions. They mixed me some seed and fertilizer together on Friday. This is Labor Day, and I'm headed up to Warm Springs to plant all of it. We're going to get it all disced. I'm going to come in, I'm going to spread this seed and fertilizer at the same time, and then we're going to lightly disc it or possibly rock rake it in. We're going to see what works the best with the tools that we have. So, this place up here is 280 acres. It's been recently timbered. Get the phone back up here. It's been recently timbered, which is not a bad thing. The deer actually like timbered land. It hasn't been clear cut, it's been selective cut for hardwoods. And a few really good red cedars were taken out on this. Look at some deer right there. So, they have plenty of cover, they have plenty of brush piles to hide in. There's a lot of new growth because that sunlight, kind of like that sunlight's coming right there, has got down into through the roof canopy and down into the floor. And that's allowed a lot of new growth to happen. So what we're doing is the logging yards where they stack the logs and the roads, and there's a couple, an acre or two here and there fields that we've got disced up, and we're going to plant those in this food plot mix I've kind of come up with here.
So I'm on the Kubota, we got the buggy, about to go do some planting back at deer camp today to add back to that food plot video I was shooting last week that we done on Labor Day. I had to kind of quit that video. We got real busy there for a little bit. My father-in-law had a pretty severe side-by-side accident on Polaris Ranger. He hit a stump with the right front wheel, and it sent the wheel into the floorboard and rolled the Ranger over. On top of him and pinned him down, and that was kind of an ordeal, and we got him to the hospital, and he has pretty severe shoulder damage. But anywho, he is safe now. We're just trying to figure out what they're going to do to his shoulder. So I decided to come back up here. I need to work on my feeder. I'll show you a little bit of that. I'm just kind of resting and relaxing on this Sunday afternoon. I was going to give you a little tour of deer camp. So if you see behind me, that is the cook shack that I put together during my 5 days of quarantine, whenever I quarantined up here. Over there's my camper. There is an awning we put together to eat under. That went through a tornado up at Corning, and we put that back together and put new metal on it. There's my wife's grandparents' little building they got from Overman's. And then there's my father-in-law's camper. And then my camper is back there, the one I used to live in. And then this is our field. If you look right, where's my finger? Right there. So this is a pretty cool fireplace chimney deal. It'll take the smoke right out of your face. So let me take you around deer camp and I'll show you around. Here's the conveyor belt that we covered all our seed up with. See the chain? You just hook that on the back to side by side, and you just pull it over the ground. So let's go look and see how it's done getting the seeds up. First food plot, I see a little bit of growth going on out here. We got one fruit tree and a pond and a mineral feeder. Let's go up to the next plot and see if we have any more success. Over to the next plot. I'm not seeing a whole lot of growth. Here we go. There's a little bitty wheat or oat plant right there. So it's only been 6 days. Here's some more growth. Looks like some little clover buds coming up. So we got some pretty good growth. Got about 2.5 inches on wheat. It looks like oats coming up. So we're getting a little bit growing. It's only been 6 days and it hasn't rained yet. Hopefully we'll get a little more growth in the next week. Here's where the father-in-law had to wreck. Get that stump right there. He was coming through here with a side-by-side and just didn't see the stump and was looking backwards to hit that. And that was a bad ordeal. Had him pinned underneath it and he was in rough shape. Rolling up to one of the main food plots. shaped. If you watch one of my videos building staircases, that's one of the staircases I built for that deer stand. That is just 1-inch tubing and pod tarp wrapped around it on a wooden platform. So you can see quite a bit of growth. It looks like Australian winter pea right there. We've got wheats and oats are up. So that's looking pretty good. Had a little more moisture in this plot. You can tell it's a lot more shaded, so it did not dry out as fast. Had a little more moisture for germination. But the rest of those seeds, I believe they're just sitting there. They're waiting on the rain and they'll come up.
I ate some of that. I bought a large bulk bag of feed from our local feed store, Mangram's. That's what I feed my horses and my goats. I thought, hey, I'll try it for the deer. It looks like they nibbled on it some.
A little creek that runs through the property. Got a nice little swimming hole right there. Clean out some of the leaves. And this is the largest plot. Pretty good sized plot. It only comes out to about an acre though. You can see that we have quite a bit of growth. Has a lot of moisture here. See, we have a sulfur mineral rock right there, the #1 stand. One of that is just grass that was already there, it looks like. But we do have, I see some soybeans growing right there. Some winter peas, I see some clover, I see wheat and oats. So it's happening. Maybe you'll see some videos of some animals being harvested out of this. Let's go up a steep hill.
Decent germination and emergence right there. Not bad for a rocky spot. So we got a little bit going on right there. They've kind of designated this as my stand. That is a water tank. And here's my big feeder, and right there's my spy point camera, cell camera. So that water tank was sitting right about there. I guess that was 2 years ago. The first year we had this lease, now my father bought it. And that's the place I killed the 157-inch 10-point in, so that's kind of, I guess I'm kind of claiming. So my issue is, I've got one coon on the picture, same one every time, pretty sure, and he sits right here, and you can tell it's pretty nasty and greasy, and he sits here, and he reaches in and spins my feeder all night long for his buddies to eat. As you can tell, I've got a lot of feed on the ground that stuff's not eating, so I'm going to put a cage, put on the little gamekeeper feeder. Didn't turn out as clean as I like it. I'm going to lose some performance there by the holes being small, throwing grain. And I did have to put just a few screws into the body of my feeder I didn't really want to do. But it's better than the coons spinning out on my corn. If you noticed a second ago when I showed you the ground right here, I've got a lot of seed that you probably think, why is that in a corn feeder? So I put food plot, or I mean, you can call it plot seed. I put plot seed in my feeders, and that way throughout the winter, throughout the fall, winter, and throughout all the season, it's constantly spreading food plot seed. When the leaves fall, they'll cover that seed up, and then you get a pretty good growth of greenery or forage around your feeder that the deer can eat. And also the turkeys like the wheat and the oats. And I know not everybody agrees with feeding deer with a corn feeder, but it's still legal here in Arkansas, so I'm still going to do it. And I also add, let me show you what else I add in there. So I don't add all the latest greatest stuff, but I have found that this Golden Nuggets works really good to bring them in. So it has a strong flavor. I'm adding this for the first time to my corn. You know, corn's cheap, but I added that in there. I'm not getting very many deer eating in this feeder. Oh, by the way, I sprayed it for ants too, to get rid of the ants. I'm not getting any deer on this camera. I'm getting turkeys and coons and squirrels and all that, but I want the deer to find this feeder pretty quick. So I'm gonna put I put that berry stuff in there, that way they can smell it, draw them in.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of growth right here. So hidden little ground blind right there, still same dimensions 4x4x4. With an old tarp, pod tarp on top, salt block feeder at 25 yards. You can see we have great germination, great emergence right here. As you can tell, the ground was a lot more moist here, and plot. See, that's super dry, but there is some emergence. We've got growth there. That's a good sign. Really good sign. That was too wet to cross, but you can see it's growing in there, and it wasn't even incorporated. It was just broadcasted on top. That's the thing. I think a lot of people overthink the food plot planting. As long as you have some contact with soil, or you can cover it, and that way it's the seeds in the dark to germinate, you're pretty much good with a lot of small grass seeds. The larger the seed you go, the more soil you need present for contact. So there you have it. That is, this field is rough. That's the tour of our deer camp and a little summary of the food plots I planted this year. And this, this is 6 days later from the beginning of the video. For those naysayers out there that say this isn't true hunting, well, I understand. I'm young. I'm 26. I do hunt on the ground a lot. I don't hunt out of those stands all the time. I still enjoy pursuing them and doing it the hard way, doing lock-on stands, climbing stands, and hunting them on the ground. But this 280 acres is being managed for the future for my little girl and for my wife that doesn't hunt very much, and then for those who are a little older. So this is to give them a somewhat easy spot to harvest a deer and make it comfortable and enjoyable for them while it's happening. And this place is being managed for all wildlife, not just deer and turkey, but just seen numerous doves today, tons of squirrels, and yes, a bunch of coons. And coons are not all bad, it's just when they're spinning my feeder empty, I don't like them then. So this whole place is just being managed for wildlife. That's all it is for. It just got timbered, and we're trying to return it back to the best wildlife habitat that we can. So with that, please like and subscribe to my channel. Your likes and subscriptions really kind of motivate me to keep bringing you more content. The reason I do this is because I feel like I do some unique things. It's such a variety of stuff, and people always ask me to video what I do, so this is me videoing what I do. So please like and subscribe and share to your friends. With that, keep making Evercote.